Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to the NASCAR 1-Up Retro Cup round number 25 of 40, and we are going way back with this one. We're at the oldest racetrack in the entire world this week at Brooklands in the United Kingdom for the running of the Brooklands 500, and I'm alongside Duke Ansack for today's race. This is a very old surface with very high speeds. Danger lurks around every corner, so what do you got to do to manage danger and stay up front when you can?
Well, it's going to be a lot like the way that you want to manage a Daytona or a Talladega race because it's going to be extremely high speeds, lots of drafting, but you also have that little right-hand corner down the back. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these guys do and how they manage. And I think that the key is just going to be to survive to the end, and then you'll have a shot to win it.
Drivers will have to make more than one pit stop in this race as the tires will take a beating on this circuit, so pit strategy will be a big factor as well. So even drivers starting at the back of the field will have a chance, like drivers as good as Justin Hutchinson starting 40th in this race, because with qualifying taking place, we can give you the starting lineup for today's race. And Arthur Xavier has planted the Sony Toyota on the front row, inside front row pole position, and alongside him is Cody Goforth in the number 60, with Wyatt Dooling, who missed the race at Spa, starting in third position, with Peter Onjak fourth, and Josh Drake, who was oh so close to winning that Spa-Francorchamps race, starting in fifth position. Looking back for the rest of the field, we've got a lot of big names in the back as well. So would you want to start this race? You want to start up front and stay there, or do you want to try and dodge things from the rear?
Oh, I always want to start up front. That's just the best place to be. You know, you're out of danger's way. You're leading the way. You have the ability to control the race, so yeah, I definitely want to start up front today.
And with that being said, the cars are lined up on this very old circuit, and we're ready to go racing. We'll take you to the green flag as soon as the cars have lined up and are ready to roll. And the pace car is already rolling on the pit road, leaving us in the hands of Arthur Xavier and Cody Goforth, entering the long railway straight, headed towards the green flag, which is going to be in the air shortly. There it is. We're underway here at Brooklands. The Brooklands 500 is underway, and Arthur Xavier gets a good jump on the field. They're starting to fan out behind him as they head towards the very dangerous turn one, approaching speeds of 200 miles per hour.
Man, what a beautiful sight that is, seeing these cars fan out. It's such a big, wide surface at this track. You can go anywhere, and no restriction today, like at Talladega and Daytona. So it is full throttle all the way.
Not all the way, though, because you're going to want to slow down for this bend right here. As Wyatt Dooling gets on the inside of Arthur Xavier going through turn 3, but Arthur Xavier manages to keep the lead, as the inside line's proving to be the best place to be right now, as the entire inside line's getting a giant run through turns 4 and 5, and Arthur Xavier is going to get the jump off of turn 5, and he will lead lap number 1 ahead of Wyatt Dooling, Josh Drake, Ben McDonald in 4th, and Brandon Beal rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, and it's no wonder why the tires wear so much of this place. The banking is incredible, and the loads that these cars take is just insane. It's going to grind those tires to nothing sooner or later.
And looking back through the field, we see Ethan Zanstra in the 6th position, Stephen Gale up to 7th, Jeffrey Finguy up to the 8th position, and Cody Goforth from 2nd place has slipped all the way back to 9th. So the outside lane proving to be very much disadvantageous here at the start of this race, as you see Peter Onjak, who started 4th, drop all the way back to 10th position, as Arthur Xavier leads around this brick encased track, like Indianapolis in that sense, except the bricks are in the walls this time instead of in the speedway itself. And as they come up to turn 4 for the second time out of 49 laps, it'll be Arthur Xavier leading the way, but don't look now, because Wyatt Dooling is right there.
Man, that final corner right there really drops these guys onto the straightaway. It's got to be so nerve-wracking to come down there and just like smash onto the track. And I'm looking at this 29 car. I really think that he's got a good run. He's been closing in slowly on the leader. This might be a big passing zone right here. It's right-hander. We'll see, though.
Absolutely. And Josh Drake and Brandon Beal are also starting to close in on this battle for the lead between Xavier and Dooling. Dueling's shown to have great strength on the super speedways, so this is a good opportunity for him to score some well-needed points because he failed to make the race at Spa. He needs all the points he can get if he wants to have a good run here. And going back through the field, you see Brandon Beal in third position, passing Josh Drake. And looking back to a side-by-side battle here between Peter Onjak and Cody Goforth with Jack Halleck right behind him. Who's Halleck going to go with? He's going to try and push the 60 of Goforth through this turn 2, and they're going to drop onto the flat of the back straightaway right here. And
it's be interesting.
Going
in through this kink.
Going through turn 3, Onjak's going to lose out a lot of position to not only Goforth and Halleck, but almost lost it to Ace in the 24 as well.
Yeah, it looks like that outside lane through at least turns 4 and 5 right now is what's prevailing. Oh, and except the inside lane prevailed right there. I'm gonna eat my words on that, but no, it's a really interesting dynamic, this racetrack, because you know the outside lane is a little bit more banked, but since you're pretty much full throttle through here, it's not quite an advantage like a place like Chicagoland or Kansas, where you can rip around the outside because you're using more throttle. Both the lanes use the same amount of throttle, other than of course through this right-handed kink through here. That's really a tough spot. We did have a pass for the lead, though. I'm seeing the 29 finally got by the 95.
Yeah, Wyatt Dueling made a move around Arthur Xavier while we were looking at that battle between Halleck, Onjak, and Goforth. So this 29 has cemented himself in the lead of this race. And coming off of turn 5, he's got a pretty handy lead as the cars fly through the circuit. It's really something unlike anything else. We've got a smoker in the back, and it looks like it's Jeffrey Finguy, who was running in 8th position. But unfortunately for him, it looks like his race is already over on lap 6 of this race. It's a shame for Jeffrey Finguy. He needed a good run here at Brooklands to keep his playoff hopes alive, but this is not going to help him at all. He was very close to the cut line going into this race, but this will not help him as his race will end on lap 6 with a blown engine.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't drop any oil on the track so he can keep this race going. Really such a shame, because this is such an important race for everybody, and you know it's rough to not make it more than 6 laps, especially in such a historic and awesome racetrack.
Yes, and with Jeffrey Finguy now falling out of the picture, drivers must begin to worry, as there are many engine issues could be a factor here. Remember, these cars are flat out for so long. This could play an issue as we go back to the lead with Wyatt Dueling, who stretched it out to about half a second over Arthur Xavier, with Josh Drake a further quarter of a second behind. These guys don't seem to be affected by the oil Finguy dropped. He managed to get to the bottom of the track where no cars would be running. So it looks like this race will stay green, and we will be able to continue on in this 500 race with Wyatt Dueling out front.
Yeah, that 29 is looking really, really good. He's pulled out a lead that's the biggest lead in this race so far. It's really probably pretty tough to get a big lead.
Trouble off of turn 5. We've got a spinner.
That's a yellow.
We've got a spinner, and it's Ryan Caggiano in the 30, and it looks like, you can see the smoke coming from his car. His day is over as well, and this will bring out the caution on lap number 8. You can see the smoke coming out. It didn't look like he hit that hard. I'm not sure what caused him to fail. He looked like he hit the inside wall just a tad, but I'm curious to see what happened that caused him this much damage to this 30 car. So you see Caggiano here coming through turn 5, and it looks like maybe somebody got into trouble ahead of him and he just got caught up in it. Oh, you see Stephen Gale get into the wall, and that's where Caggiano got all that damage. He just creamed the side of Stephen Gale, and that must have knocked something out of the rear end housing or something, because that car is toast after even that slightest bit of contact. We're on board now with Ryan Caggiano, and you can see Stephen Gale just make the slightest bit of contact with the wall, and then he just gets piled in. Tough way to end the race for Ryan Caggiano. He was also on the bubble. He was on the plus side, though, so hopefully he can take this hit and keep going with hopes of securing a playoff spot. But this is definitely going to hurt them as far as making the playoffs in this series, as we pick up the pace car, who's going to lead all the cars down pit road, where they will join Stephen Gale for pit stops in this race coming on lap 10. And this could be interesting to see if it shuffles up the field any, as pit stops are the order of the day.
Yeah, I'd say these drivers are probably screaming for tires, even though we're really early in this race. Everybody's like, "Give me 4 fresh ones," because this track is tearing them apart.
You say we're very early in this race. We're already almost 20% done. We're on
Yeah.
lap 10 out of 49. So a lot of these cars now are begging for fresh tires, and of course, a load of fuel won't hurt either. And as the right sides go up on everybody's car and lowered it, I doubt anybody will take 2 here. Tires are so important.
Yeah.
Yep, you see the left sides going up on all
Yep.
cars involved, and it
Here
looks
they
like
come.
Wyatt Dueling will be the first one off pit road as Xavier stalls it coming out of the pit road. So Josh Drake will take second, and Xavier will fall to 6th on the pit exit. Interesting that how the car would not fire right away, but it'll be interesting to see as all the cars file out of the pit lane what's going to happen in these next few laps when the restart comes. And with that, pit stops are complete, and we will take you to the said restart as soon as the pace car is ready to pull off. And as the pace car rounds turn 4, pulls onto pit road, leaves us in the hands of Wyatt Dueling leading this long train of cars off of turn 5, headed down the long railway straight, coming to the green flag, which will be flying shortly, coming straight at you here on this camera angle, and we are back racing with a big, long train of cars, headed down into turn 1 at breakneck speed. Wyatt Dueling leads the way.
Yeah, there's a little bit of grass right next to the wall on the front stretch. You got to be careful. I saw one car that was really close to the wall, maybe trying to make a pass on the start. But you got to be careful of that grass. You don't want it to pull you right into the wall.
As Josh Drake going to try and make a move on the inside of Wyatt Dueling going through turn 3, and it looks like he may be able to make it stick. No, he does not. He holds him off for now as Wyatt Dueling continues to lead the way going through turns 4 and 5. He really needs a good run to get up into the top 30 in points. He's really far behind, but right now it looks like he's smooth sailing from here on in as the flag continues, as we keep going through this race, as the caution flag. Oh, big travel! No. Big crash! Oh my goodness! Oh, this is absolutely appalling! Oh my goodness!
Everybody's in it.
Jordan Presto is upside down. This is absolutely appalling. This is quite possibly the biggest crash in series history right here. At least 20 cars are involved in this. Cal Farrell is involved. And there's more damage.
Still piling in.
Jack Halleck, Justin Hutchinson, they're involved in this wreck. Seth Taylor was in it. You see him passing by there. Oh my goodness, this is going to take ages to clean up. Look at all these slow cars coming through this wreck. A lot of people's days have just ended here at Brooklands.
Man, everybody's flying through these. There's got to be a ton of debris. People are trying to catch up to the pack.
Look at all these cars
in the pit lane.
There's so many cars out of this race already, and the pace car has already picked up Wyatt Dueling and Josh Drake. This is going to take a very long time to clean up, and we'll of course get you a view of what happened as soon as it's available to us, but what an accident. So you see it might start, it starts way up in front where Melee got together. Oh, Mashburn got tagged really bad. You can barely even keep up with what's going on. Jordan Presto upside down and on his lid keeps flipping. A lot of cars involved in this wreck, and I'm just not sure how you can keep up with any of this, because man, oh man, was there a big pile up here. I've said it before, this may be the biggest crash this series has ever seen. This is going to be quite, oh my goodness, he sees Cody Goforth climb up on top of the wall as Jordan Presto goes for a wild ride upside down on his roof. My goodness, this is quite possibly the worst crash we've ever seen in this league. You see Henry Thomas involved in it, the 69 of Blair is in it, the 75, the 53 Richard Herman's involved. A lot of cars involved in this. On board with Jack Halleck now.
Oh my gosh.
Halleck gets hit by Hutchinson, who then gets hit by Cal Farrell. Oh my goodness, you can't barely even see with the smoke coming out of Jack Halleck's machine. And you see Seth Taylor, we're on board with him now. His race is over. Justin Hutchinson's race is done as well. At least half the field is going to be knocked out of this race. This is so similar to what we saw at Pensacola all those races ago. Man, my goodness, this is not how we wanted this race to go at all.
Yeah, that's such a dangerous part of the track right there, where they're coming down out of that corner, full throttle, full speed, and it's just it's just everybody piled into it there. There was no stopping, and it damaged a lot of good race cars. Hopefully everybody's okay. Lots of big hits. Everybody's coming into the pit here, though.
Yeah, so it looks like they'll be red flagging this one to clean this mess up. So we will take you back to the action when this race restarts. Keep good thoughts, folks. We'll be back with you as soon as this race restarts. We're in a red flag condition here at Brooklands. And the field is rolling through turn 3. We're getting ready for the restart with Josh Drake out in front. Pit stops cycled the order quite a bit. We've got Ben McDonald, Arthur Xavier, Brandon Beal, Ethan Zanstra, King in the 18, Onjack in the 70, Ace in the 24, Ricky Freeman Jr. in the 56, and Zachary Fitzwater. Then Bobo Jones, Wyatt Dooling, Stephen Hunter, number 3 and 14, Casey Bender, 15th, Nick Ortiz, Kevin Carter, Jake McMillan, and Chris Maley. That is the remaining car. That is all that is left of this field. 19 cars that survived that horrible melee. And although Jack Halleck is out of this race, he still holds the fastest lap point. We'll see if he can keep it as he watches from the sidelines as the pace car gets ready to pull off onto pit road, as it does right there. And Josh Drake will lead this field of 19 cars to the restart here. And as the field gets rolling, the flagman has the flag in hand, and we are back racing once again. The flag is down, and the cars are already starting to spread out a little bit further back in the pack. But right now, Josh Drake has this race very much in hand as he leads Ben McDonald into turn 1. Brandon Beal goes high. We'll see if that pays dividends for him or not. But right now, Josh Drake's got a lead that he doesn't want to let go.
Look at that. Here comes the 95 back at it. He was leading this race early. He just moved to the bottom and took the 12 car by surprise. And Ben McDonald is rolling the wrong way right now. He's falling back to 4th.
Yeah, and he's falling back even further. They were three wide going through the King. That's not something I'd advise, but
yeah, this is the danger spot from the last restart. We'll see. Hopefully they can make it through this time. I have a feeling everybody's going to be a lot more cautious after that big crash that they just saw.
Yes, Josh Drake leads the field off of turn 4, and everybody makes it through. No contact this time around. As Josh Drake starts to build a lead, he's got half a second on Arthur Xavier and Ethan Zanstra in 3rd position. Ben McDonald slipped to 4th, as you said, with King in the 18 rounding out your top 5 after lap 18. And this is a battle worth keeping an eye on between the 15 and the 12 of Zanstra and McDonald. King's starting to join this battle too, and they're actually starting to close in on Arthur Xavier as well for second. This could be a 4-car battle for second, 5-car battle for second. Although McDonald's going to try to make a swoop around the outside of Ethan Zanstra. This could be for position, and King's going to try and push him along in the high side, and they're both going to clear. No, King has to back out of it. King has to back out at the last second, and King's going to lose. Although that will cost him another spot, this time to Brandon Beal, and maybe more.
The key is it didn't cost him the race.
Exactly. He's still running. An ace in the top 10. This could be his chance to get a top 10. He still has yet to get one in the 24 races we've run so far. He's made every single one, but is yet to finish in the top 10. And with a depleted field here today, this could be his time.
Yeah, and here's that 29 car who led so many laps, pulled away so far. He's trying to work his way through traffic after a bad pit stop.
He's already worked his way up to 10th, so good job from him. He restarted in 12th, so doing a good job so far as Josh Drake starts to build a big gap over Arthur Xavier. And coming across the line, it will be an 0.8 of a second that Josh Drake is building. It's maybe as fast as a super speedway, but you don't quite get the draft effect that you find in a super speedway because these cars get spread out so much. So it's more, in that respect, it's more like an Auto Club or a Michigan in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys are top speed even without the draft, so everybody's going the same speed. And you know, it's hard to pass on the straightaways and stuff. But once you go through this corner, especially, that's an awesome camera angle right there. But that's a good corner. It's like a road course style corner where you can kind of gain on somebody if you get through there a little bit better. And then of course, if you have to let off through here, that's definitely a spot where you're going to want to let off. 29 is looking really good. I definitely have him. Don't forget about him.
Yes,
later in the
he's
day.
already made his way up to 8th. He's gained 4 spots since the restart. He's making gains, and he's closing in on ace in the 24 as well. As we
Yeah.
come back to Josh Drake, he's had a woeful season. He has a bunch of top 5s, including that 2nd place at Spa, but he has voiced his displeasure even with that finish, with his engineers, with his team. He's the only driver running the Chevrolet Monte Carlo body on his car. Everybody else is running the newer Impala body on their Chevrolets, but Drake is adamant on running the Monte Carlo for the rest of the season, although he has expressed his interest in a new manufacturer going forward to 2021. So it'll be interesting to see what manufacturer he goes with, if of course he chooses to remain in this series, and we'd love to have him back because he's such a great driver, and he's showing it today, leading all these laps here at Brooklands.
Yeah, he's out to a 1.5-second lead now because there was a move for 2nd place from Ben McDonald. He passed the 95 car, and then that slowed up that whole group. So they lost a lot of time there. And this is the second outing in a row for Josh Drake, who's had a really good couple of races here. And it's unfortunate that he's having manufacturer problems, but right now he's making the best of it, and he did a pretty good job last week too. So.
Leading the way so far is Wyatt Dooling going to try and make a move on ace in the 24. If you have to slow down off of turn 5, it'll really hurt you going down the long main straightaway and into turn 1 and 2 as well. But it looks like everybody manages to keep going at full speed, but Ace has Wyatt Dooling shoving him down the front straightaway.
Yeah.
He's in an NRW sandwich here between Zanstra and Dooling. They've got matching sponsorship on their machines through an alliance of theirs. And it's paying dividends right now with Zanstra in 6th and Dooling about to take 7th.
Yeah, there he goes on the outside of turn 2. He's going to have the inside through 3. Makes the pass before he even gets there. Man, that is a quick machine right there in the 29.
Absolutely. And when we go through these cars, it's not often that we get a car this fast at a kind of track like this, but Wyatt Dooling has shown to have quite the piece under him. Whether or not he's going to be able to catch Josh Drake is yet to be seen. However, he's slicing his way through traffic with ease, and I would bet that he will be able to make up that 4-second deficit, because we have about half this race left to go.
Yeah.
And it appears that Wyatt Dooling has plenty of speed on him to get around. As you see, he's going to make a move around Ethan's. He's made the move again into turn 3. That seems to be where his car is strongest. He gets around Ethan Zanstra, and now he sets his sights on Brandon Beal. That's for 5th position.
Yeah, we're going to have to just watch his how far back he is. He's 3.7 seconds back right now. When he comes across the line, we'll see. And meanwhile, Josh Drake is extending his lead on 2nd place even more. We're going to see where it is right here. Now, we lost a 10th to the leader that time. Of course, he is in traffic, so the leader's pulling away. Clear road ahead for Josh Drake.
Absolutely. He's got so much pavement to use here, but he knows which groove is his favorite, and he's hugging that groove every single lap, trying to stay as far away from those brick walls as he can, going through the kink of turn 3. He's got plenty of clear track ahead, and he's smooth sailing. Could this be the day that Josh Drake gets his first career win? It could happen, It almost happened at Spa last time out, and it may very well happen here as well.
Yeah, this is a really good line he's running through here. Obviously, it's gaining him time. 95 is taking over 2nd place. A bit of a commanding takeover, too. He's starting to pull away in 3rd place.
Absolutely, and it looks like Ace in the 24 scrubbed the wall coming out of turn 5. He's lost a lot of speed, and he's lost 2 positions as well, and that 3 car is closing in on him at a big rate of speed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a good place to scrub the wall. We've seen people scrub the wall there before, leading to catastrophic events that follow. So it's good that he got out of it with the minimal damage that he has.
Looking back outside the top 10 now, you see Bobo Jones and Casey Bender battling for a position outside the top 10, with Zachary Fitzwater hot on their heels. He can't be happy with an outside the top 10 run, but at least he's still in the race, as a lot of his fellow competitors can't say at this point. But Ace is soldiering on in 10th, 6.6 seconds off the lead. But coming back up through the field, it appears that the battle right now is second place between Xavier, McDonald, and King. 2 Toyotas and a Chevrolet right in the middle.
Yeah, and it looks like Ben McDonald maybe he's going to try that move that the 29 has been doing. Not going to work out for him. He's still stuck behind the 95. He's going to the bottom, it looks like, through...
It looks like he's slowing. It's maybe the start of green flag pit stops. They are coming at some point in time in this race, or it may just be an electrical issue. He may have had to switch to his backup battery, because he appears to be up to speed now, but it cost him like 4 or 5 spots. But McDonald continues on in 7th place, so it appears he's okay for now, as the 3 managed to scrub the wall off of 5, and now he's being swallowed up by this pack of cars. He's going to lose 4 or 5 spots as they're going to go side by side into 1 and 2.
Yeah, both the 12 and the 3 had problems right there coming through that little section. But for both of them, though, good job managing to stay out of...
This doesn't look good. They're going 3 wide through coming in out of turn 2. They wisely backed out of that.
Yeah.
Fitzwater ahead of Ortiz, ahead of Bobo Jones. Oh, is there a little bit of contact between the 91 and the 13? A lot of these cars are just hoping to survive the rest of this race. Look at them all.
This is big right here.
This is the biggest battle in the field right now, and it's not even in the top 10.
People slowing down a pit, maybe?
Yes, now green flag pit stops are beginning as the leaders hit pit road. Josh Drake is among them. He has pitted, and that hands the lead to Arthur Xavier in the 95. Be curious to see when he comes to pit road, but Josh Drake is going to get his 4 tires in fuel now. As coming back through the field, Arthur Xavier slows, and look who took the lead, the 29 of Wyatt Dooling. In his patented spot, coming out of turn 2 and going into 3, Wyatt Dooling has taken the lead of this race, but he has yet to pit, remember. So it'll be interesting to see how this pit stop cycle works its way out. Yeah, and it appears that Dooling will now give up the lead to head to pit road right now, so he will hand the lead back to Arthur Xavier. And Wyatt Dooling, along with Zandstrom, McDonald, Beal, and some others, are going to pit road this time, so leaving Arthur Xavier all by himself as the only driver left to pit in this cycle. I'm curious to see how this is going to work, because he can't possibly think that stretching this out long is going to help him.
Well, it just depends on his lap times right now in comparison to the lap times on fresh tires. I unfortunately can't tell you if they're any better or not, but we are looking at this. He's got clear track ahead. He's well, the 18 is up there, but it's not going to hurt him all that much. So maybe just staying out and setting some laps in clean air is going to help him gain some time on the leaders. You know, you got to have a good in lap, a good out lap. So we'll see. It looks like he's probably going to pit here. Yeah,
he's probably going to come in this time because tires are just worth so much. Tires are worth too much to stay out this long, and Arthur Xavier on lap 31 peels off pit road. We're going to have at least one more set of pit stops to get us to the end of this thing. So it's not over yet, and we're going to try and find the leader. There's Josh Drake, and there's Wyatt Dooling. That is the race for the lead right now, and as Dooling exits the pits, I believe Josh Drake is going to easily clear to 29, and Josh Drake will take the lead back coming out of turn 2. We will wait for the scoreboard to update itself, but as of now, it is still Josh Drake out in front.
Yeah, and we'll wait to see for the 95 because, you know, he had a clear entry into the pits, through the pits, and out of the pits. So we'll see if that maybe helped him. Of course, Josh Drake also had that because he had such a huge lead, but a lot of other folks didn't. Let's see where they cycle here.
The pit stops have cycled, and Arthur Xavier still maintains the lead because he crossed the timing line on pit road. So next time around, it will show Josh Drake as the leader of this race because... And it looks like King in the 18s actually cemented himself into second place. Something must have happened to Wyatt Dooling on his pit stop to cycle him back out into third position as things stand right now. He's about 5 seconds off the lead, but this will update, of course, as Josh Drake crosses the finish line next time by. And we will have an updated ticker for you when Josh Drake crosses the line to lead lap number 32. He has been out front the majority of the day, and he's got a very commanding lead. He may have even extended it on the pit stops. Look at the lead he's got over King and over Dooling. It's 4 seconds, the gap. to King and Dooling.
And the 95 has lost a lot of spots. I guess the tires really did hurt him there. That was a bad move staying out for so long.
One driver who did benefit, though, was the 91 of Nick Ortiz. He managed to jump up at least 9 spots, and he's up to 6th now in that 91 car. You see him back there. Ace in the 24. Could his top 10 arrive in the form of a top 5 finish? He's 7.8 seconds off the lead, but he's got pretty clear air around him. No one really to challenge him, so this could be his day. I'm not jinxing him, but hopefully his time comes, because he's well overdue for a top 10 finish in this series.
Yeah, it seems like those guys that came to pit first, they were able to get out there on those fresh tires, set some nice laps while everybody else was coming into pits. So, and since Josh Drake was the only one in the top 3 or 4 to come the first time, of course he has gained a lot of time on those that have waited. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind for the next pit cycle, to see who maybe the 29 and the 18 can short pit on the 86 and gain that time back. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
And right now it's Wyatt Dooling chasing after King in the 18, and that's a battle for second position brewing right there. They're close, but not close enough, as we like to say, because as they cross the line, they're exactly half a second apart. King and Dooling, 4.7 seconds behind Josh Drake. They can't worry about him, though. They've got to focus on the battles that are in front of them, and they've got to worry about each other, because Brandon Beal is nowhere close to being able to take control of these cars. So right now their goal is just to worry about each other and let Josh Drake make a mistake.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation, because Josh Drake is still pulling away, and these guys are just trying to run their race here, but they don't really want to let him pull that far away.
And we've got a yellow. We got a yellow on the track, and it looks like it's the 22 of Casey Bender that was involved in this one. He's like far behind. Ooh, and we got Ace in the 24, and it looks like he got a shove from Nick Ortiz. They both have damage to their cars, which is a shame. He was running in the top 5. He was having such a good day, and of course something has to happen. It can't be a 2020 season without Ace in the 24 having some sort of issue that knocks him out of running for a top 10 spot. But we will of course find what happened to bring out this caution flag. It looks like it was Casey Bender to bring out the caution flag, and of course once we get a replay of what happened, we'll of course bring it to you. So you see Casey Bender, it looks like maybe something. Yep, he got the wall, and then McDonald tagged him, and then this is just like what happened with Ryan Caggiano earlier in this race. But fortunately for Casey Bender, his damage is not as severe, so he will be able to continue in this race. I was a little worried when he made that contact, like Caggiano did earlier, but it appears Casey Bender will be able to continue in this race after a little bit of cosmetic repair in the pits. Now, looking at Ace, this is coming to the caution flag. I'm curious to see what happened to him. Could he have hit the wall coming out of turn 5 like we've seen so many others do?
I think he probably slowed down for the... Yeah, he's slowing down for the caution. Or maybe he's going too fast. Yeah, he did hit the wall.
And he tagged the wall, and then Ortiz just plows into the back of him, which is going to do a lot of damage to both of their cars. Yeah. They're going to have to spend a little time in the pits to fix that. So, tough way for Ortiz and for Ace to have their races go. They were running 5th and 6th at the time. You can see both of them getting repairs done in the pits as the field exits pit road for hopefully the final time in this race, as 2 cars managed to stay out in the under this caution flag. I'm curious if that's going to pay dividends. Ethan Zanstra in the 15 and Kevin Carter in the 71, they did not pit under this caution, while everyone else, Josh Drake, Brandon Beal, Wyatt Dooling, they all pitted. So this is going to be an interesting situation, because we have yet to see someone try this, and I'm curious to see if it'll work or not. Remember, tires are just worth so much here.
Yeah, and I don't even know if those folks can make it to the end.
And after this brief caution period, we're lining back up, ready to go green once again. Ethan Zanstra and Kevin Carter did not pit I must reiterate this to you because no one has tried this yet before in this race, so it'll be interesting to see if these two cars can manage to hold off the fast cars of Josh Drake right behind them. It'll be interesting to see if they can hold on for 10 more laps of this. I don't know if they'll be able to make it. However, it'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to hold them off.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about those guys slowing up the field. Of course, they're on older tires, so everybody behind them has got some fresh rubber, and we'll see. But I've got my eye on the 29 for this final stint here because it's going to be interesting to see him fly out of turn 2 and start trying to pass people.
Coming down to the restart, the flag is in the air, and we are back racing at Brooklands. And Josh Drake's already making a move to the outside of Kevin Carter. This is for second, and he might even clear the 71 going into turn 1. This is what I worried about. These cars are going to get swallowed up by faster traffic.
Right now it's not looking all that bad for the 71, but he's got never mind. I take it back because he is falling behind. 15, of course, has got that fresh air, and it's not going to last very long because the
86
Josh Drake
and
King,
both of them powered past. So now it's Drake and King 1 and 2 with Zanstra and Carter 3 and 4. It'll be interesting to see if that will hold up. And King's going to try and make a move for the lead, going through 4 and 5. It's going to be interesting to see if
he's going to be side by side with him.
He's right there. Oh, and Drake pinches him.
Oh my God!
Drake pinched him. King's gonna fall really far behind now, as the ace car in the 24 returns to pit road for more repairs. Josh Drake really didn't give the 18 any room there.
Not at all. That was a move. It was a little bit dangerous, and in fact, I'd say it's a lot of bit dangerous. But yeah, he pinched him there, and the 18 had to get out of the gas. Luckily, there was not a big crash, but. Now the 86 has a big time lead over the 15 and the 71, who do not have fresh tires.
Yes, that would have earned him a black and white flag if this were an open wheel show, but of course, not so here today. But right now, it appears that we've got a lot of action left to go. We've still got 7 or 8 laps to go. And we'll see if any of these cars have anything, because Brandon Beal is making a push to try and get to the front. He's stuck behind Carter, and you see, there's Brandon Beal, and he's going to try and make a move around Kevin Carter, but it's going to be difficult from that far back unless he gets a good draft here coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, this is that spot where the 29 is able to make all those moves. The 37 is going to go for it. I don't think he's going to get it.
No, he's not.
They're really tight on the 71 now, though. Him and the 29 both are. We'll see if they can make it happen on the outside.
The longer these guys get held up by Carter and Zanstra, the more of a gap Josh Drake is going to build. But it looks like they're going to clear Carter now. So now it's just
King had to let off again.
Yeah, he did, and now that's dropped him into the clutches of Zachary Fitzwater in the 59, who's made a move into the top 10 for the first time today. But now Brandon Beal, the longer he's stuck behind Ethan Zanstra, the bigger a gap that Josh Drake will be able to build. And he's already got almost a 2-second lead. So Beal needs to get past Zanstra really quickly. And there he goes.
Here comes the move right here.
There
the 29 is going to follow or go to the middle.
He's going to take Wyatt Dooling with him. So Beal and Dooling are now through to second and third. And they are going to try and chase down Josh Drake with the handful of laps that are left. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch him or not.
Yeah, they've only got 5 laps, and we haven't seen anybody gain on this 86 car for the whole race. So we're going to have to see if he maybe makes a mistake at some point. Oh, one in the wall in the back.
That looked like Arthur Xavier in the 95 back there. The gap is 2.7 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see if Brandon Beal can close that any. Because Brandon Beal's got a fast car. It looks like he's starting to show his hand now that we've got 6 laps to go. However, Brandon Beal needs to run 6 perfect laps if he's going to chase down Josh Drake. He's 2.7 behind, which in any other race would be impossible to make up. But it's very much doable here as we look back through the rest of the top 10. Ethan Zanstra is holding his own in 4th place. Although, making it to the end of this race is not a guarantee for any of these cars, even the ones that came into pit on that last run. It's going to be a stretch as Kevin Carter
continues to drop places. He's lost a few more there. He's now back in 7th position. But look at the 3 is up to 4th now, 4.3 seconds behind. But Brandon Beal just gained 0.6 of a second on Josh Drake. He could do it. He could actually catch him.
Yeah, and you know what? The 29 is following close. Not quite as close as he was, but he's still there. So this could be a 3-car battle by the end of this race. It's going to probably be on about the last lap when they get there, but it's going to be really interesting when and if they do.
With only 5 laps to go now, Brandon Beal needs to gain that much of a second per lap if he wants to. He needs to keep gaining 0.6 per lap if he wants to catch Josh Drake, because Josh Drake is flying through this race. We come down to 4 laps to go. Let's see the gap. He closed it by 2 more tenths, but that's just not enough if he wants to catch Josh Drake. He's gonna need some help. But unless that help comes, Josh Drake is on course to take his first career win right here.
Yeah, Josh Drake is looking really good right now. He's got plenty of space. He could even save his stuff a little bit if he wanted to. But Brandon Beal is really, really pushing right now. He's got to be really pushing to gain. And then, of course, the 29 is just lurking in case these two get together.
Yeah, Drake can't save too much because Brandon Beal is running hot laps. And if Drake saves, Drake needs to start running faster than this. Because if he keeps running this pace, Brandon Beal will catch him. I'm just not sure it'll be enough. He gained another 0.3 of a second, but there's only 3 laps to go now. He needs to gain like 0.8 of a second per lap if he wants to catch Josh Drake, because this is not going to be enough.
Yeah, you know, and there's another thing I noticed. There is a lap car quite a ways ahead of Josh Drake, but it just depends on how fast that lapper is going. If they're going slow enough for Josh Drake to catch him, it might impact the end of this race.
And coming through turn 3, coming to 2 laps to go, Brandon Beal's on the drive of his life to try and take this win away, but I'm not so sure if it's going to happen or not. Brandon Beal might just have to settle for 2nd place because Josh Drake is on a tear, and Brandon Beal is too, but he's not gaining enough as we focus back in on Josh Drake coming to 2 laps to go in this race. Brandon Beal closed the gap another 0.4 of a second. The gap is now 1.2 seconds. It's just not enough though, and Josh Drake is on pace to take the win in this thing as we descend on 2 laps to go in this race. As a few cars exit the pits, even Zanstra couldn't make it all the way. A lot of cars are actually hitting pit road. They couldn't make it that last bit of distance they needed. But Josh Drake is coming to the white flag. He's got the win in his sights.
Yeah, we're going to see here. This is really, really interesting. A lot of those guys in the pits, they might come out in front of these leaders. We're going to have to see if they let them go or they try to race.
And if they do decide to race, that might cripple Josh Drake's chances of winning this race. There's a few more lappers ahead as Ethan Zanstra, and Josh Drake takes the white flag. This is the final lap. Zanstra will be able to pull away because he's on fresher tires, so he will not be a factor.
Yeah, the gap less than a second behind now.
The gap is closing, but it's not enough for him to catch Josh Drake. I think he's got it. This is going to be really close. He needs to gain 0.9 of a second this lap. He hasn't been able to do that yet, but they're coming out of a couple cars are coming out of the pit lane. Arthur Xavier is going to hold him up. Xavier holds him up a little bit. Drake is slowing, and that's going to... Brandon Beal to the outside. Brandon Beal's going to go for the lead in turn 4. Brandon Beal through turn 4 and 5 is gonna try and take the checkered flag. He's stealing a win from Josh Drake off the final quarter. Brandon Beal off of turn 5. He wins at Brooklands.
Oh my goodness.
And the gap between them for 0.4 of a second. Josh Drake will once again have to settle for 2nd place in a race that Brandon Beal stole away. Because of some lap cars that got in the way at the very end. Josh Drake is not going to be very happy with Arthur Xavier, but that was as thrilling a finish as you'd expect here at Brooklands.
Yeah, that was, I mean, coming through that final corner 3 wide, Brandon Beal sent it higher than anybody else that had run before to make the pass 3 wide around the lapper, and it just, I mean, the timing was perfect, and there was nothing else that 37 could have hoped for right there. I mean, that was everything that he needed. That one little moment that allowed him to take the lead.
Josh Drake,
just incredible.
heartbroken, will settle for second place. Wyatt Dooling will take third. The 3 and 4th. Peter Onjak will take 5th ahead of Ricky Freeman Jr. Jake McMillan, without a hood on his car, managed to take
Top
7th
10
place. Ahead of Chris Maley, Casey Bender, and Stephen Hunter in the 51 had the pit on the final lap, which will give the final top 10 spot to King in the 18. This has been as thrilling a race as you can expect. Chaotic wrecks, a last lap pass for the win. As much as people are not going to like this track, we loved it here, and we're gonna lobby for it to come back because this track produced thrills and spills.